Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to QuickBooks Bookkeeping and Accounting Basics for Small Business Owners. Um, I'm your host, Irene Cho. Today's topic covered everybody tasked with QuickBooks Online, work smarter, not harder. Effective and efficient money management is fundamental for your business to succeed. This webinar is brought you in partnership with EWDD, BusinessSource Pico-Union Westlake region operated by PACE Business Development Center. This webinar will be recorded and you may find it on our website, e-library, after about a week. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. Please mute yourself during the webinar. We will have the last 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A session. So please ask the question during Q&A session using raising hand emoji or writing question in Q&A box or chat box. So we have a lot of things covered today. Um, let's get started and please welcome Lona Whitaker.
Hi. All right. Well, I'm ready if you are. So I've had a couple of questions about some software. Accounting software is accounting software for business owners. Does it provide you with the services that you need now and for in the future? We talked a little bit about this on Tuesday. This is one of the most important things you will decide when you're selecting your software, is that does it support the way you do business now and the way you see you will be doing business in the future. If you intend to grow your business to $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, you're going to need more sophisticated software. QuickBooks is absolutely capable of running a multi-million-dollar business, and it can run a business that's only making $25,000 a year. It can do all of that. Wave typically has been for those smaller businesses that are maybe a side hustle or something like that. So always pick the software that serves you now and tomorrow. At least look 5 years forward. Okay. So great questions. Really happy about that. So this is a two-part presentation. We did the first part on Tuesday. It was kind of more of an overview. Today we're going to be navigating QuickBooks Online. The reason that we're now doing only QuickBooks Online is because for most people, the QuickBooks desktop version is no longer a fit for them. QuickBooks has sunsetted the more affordable versions of desktop, and they have gone to a much more expensive and very robust. Just know desktop is a very, very robust and very satisfactory software. So we're going to be talking about how to use QuickBooks and online. And this is really about running your business by the numbers. Okay. Your numbers are the compass. Financial success is the destination. Today, we're not going to do a lot on the slide deck side. I'm going to push through it pretty quickly. I do have to give you a disclaimer. I'm an educator. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a licensed tax professional. I cannot and do not give legal advice. I empower you by sharing with you how to use the tools, financial skills, some help to grow your financial savvy. None of us was born knowing this stuff. What I have come to understand is that when you look at people who are financially successful, okay, it isn't by luck. It didn't happen by accident. It came by getting in, doing the work, and developing the skills. Financially savvy entrepreneurs make more money. This is a skill set that you can learn and grow, and you will be doing so all your life. So let's find out how we can do that for you. So I'm happy that you're all here today. We have good numbers. I want you to know that one of the things people want to know is what is some of my experience? Do I have the expertise to share this with you? I do. I tripled my personal business income my second year in business. After my first year, I knew to assess what I had been doing. I knew how to assess it. I looked at it and went, I can do better. And then I said, how will I do better? And that was by setting some goals, setting some targets, and learning how to hit them. I'll tell you that in the beginning, I didn't hit them right away. I had to learn how to do it. And I help my clients achieve financial stability and get extraordinary growth. So these slide decks will be made available to you. You can read this stuff later if you would like. I just really want to get into giving you that training that I have promised. Today, we're going to be navigating QuickBooks Online. So it's a roadmap. You need to know where things are at. At first, you will bumble around, I did, until you start knowing where things are at. QuickBooks will, on occasion, update the software, and they may move something. It's not you, it's them. So don't get frustrated. Find out where they moved it to. But accounting software is accounting software. So they will have those features depending on if you pay for it. So that's one of the things to know is that some of those less expensive QuickBooks offers, they don't give everything. So they want you to pay a little bit more. So we talked about that on Tuesday, that kind of that middle of the road platform is really the one that's going to offer you the things that you need. All of the ability to sync with your banks and to do all your reports and download things. Those are going to be the things you're going to be asking for when you're looking at other alternatives. If you want other software, it's out there, but make sure that you can sync with your banks, do all the data entry, that it's easy to change, and that you can get your reports, because you need the reports to assess your health. Okay, so we're going to talk about getting paid. One of the most important things, be set up to get paid. It's people reach out and go, well, how do I pay you? Well, do you have a credit card? Take the ability to take a credit card? Can you take Venmo? Can you take Zelle? How about checks? Most of us can do that. Do you want to do that? ACH payments. So we're going to learn a little bit about getting paid, how to make payments and deposits, how to record them. This is a bookkeeping presentation on how to actually do these kinds of tasks. Okay, paying bills, how that works, and some best practices. And we're actually going to do the best practices right now, and then we're going to do the live demo. Okay, first things first. As I said, none of us are born knowing this stuff, and this is stuff we need to know. Low financial literacy will cost you money, big time. Oops, let me go back. On Tuesday, we covered a conversation about the building blocks of money. I'm trusting that you guys were here for Tuesday. Would like to just give you a quick recap. On the balance sheet side, we have assets, the things that you own, liabilities, the things that you owe, equity, the difference between the two, okay? And then on the profit and loss side, we have income, the money you get paid for what you do, costs of goods sold, COGS, the things that it might cost you directly, that directly impact your income, and expenses, those things that you have to pay for whether you make money or not. And I reiterate, these 6 words, you've got to understand what they are. People think that the problems that they're having with accounting software is the software. It's not. The software works. It's your understanding of where the transactions go and how they're recorded. And then QuickBooks does have a few rules, which we're going to cover, that it's pretty hard and fast on. This is your chart of accounts. Remember that these titles, these names of the accounts under assets, liabilities, etc., those names can be changed. Some of them can be. I don't advise you to change accounts receivable. Don't change that name, okay? That's a standard name. Don't change the name of accounts payable. If you have a credit card, it's great to say credit card, the bank, let's say Chase, Wells Fargo, whatever, and then maybe have the last 4 of that bank account number. That way it helps you to understand what it is. Under bank accounts, same thing. You might have your operating account. You might have your primary account. Have the last four of that account number actually listed on the name so that you're always clear when you're posting. This is how you get fast. If you spend a little time at the front end learning how to do this, you will spend less time over the lifetime of your business taking care of this financial piece. So make sure your chart of accounts is set up and it's user-friendly for you, okay? Some best practices. Okay, record and post your transactions weekly, and there's a reason for this. QuickBooks syncs with your bank account. It's a great feature, particularly as we become more electronic and more of our payments are going out, not by check, but by actual debits and credits into our bank account. If you wait too long, you will forget what the transaction is. If you wait too long and there's an error or a mistake, you won't catch it in a timely fashion. So record and post your transactions weekly. Set up a time where you will do it. Monday morning may not be the best time. Okay, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday is a better time for you. Monday, you may be doing all sorts of revenue relevant activities, doing work, sending invoices, paying bills, whatever it is, but do it weekly. Otherwise, this stuff will get out away from you. Okay. So here's one of my best tips. Post your bank transactions, the bank transactions, not credit cards. Bank transactions first and your credit card transactions second. That way, once the bank transactions are posted, it kind of automatically updates all those other accounts because your bank is going to be your primary cash vehicle. Post what you know first, and then tackle at least one or two of the harder ones each time you work on your books. That way you will continually be keeping your books up in a nice, good way. And I find that if we do what we know first, it's easier, and then we feel empowered to do the harder stuff second. Review every transaction and watch for changes QuickBooks makes before posting. That's coming in the feed. QuickBooks learns. It says, oh, well, you posted it this way last time, so I'm going to help you. I'm going to say that this is where it goes. Okay. Sometimes it's right. Most of the time it's right. Sometimes it's not. Pay attention. Does it belong in that category? And you're going to see a little bit more how that works when we get over into the QuickBooks itself. Don't use miscellaneous for anything. No miscellaneous income, no miscellaneous expenses. Always post them to an account that means something. Okay. The QuickBooks support team is there for your tech needs. Okay. They can give you some information. They don't ever give advice. Use a trusted CPA or bookkeeper for your accounting and bookkeeping questions. You can use some AI. There's lots of good resources out there in the Intuit community. That's the makers of QuickBooks. If you get behind, get caught up. And here's some 10 tips. Run your business by the numbers. Make more money than you spend. Keep separate personal and business bank accounts and credit cards. Talked about this on Tuesday. Manage your cash flow. Okay, I have a client that considers paying her bills a real priority. Sometimes she pays them and she doesn't leave enough money for her payroll. Cash flow management is very important. Choose a bank that provides suitable business services. Same thing with your accounting software. Use accounting software that is a fit for your business today and a fit for your business tomorrow. You might as well learn one software rather than having to find one that doesn't serve you and then have to change because your business outgrew what it was able to offer. Review your financial reports monthly. Manage your debt strategically. Pay what you have to pay what you need to pay, and then manage what you want to pay, and just be strategic about how you manage your debt, but do manage it. Build an emergency fund and stay on top of taxes, whether it's your employer taxes, whether it's your personal taxes. Stay on top of your tax obligations. You'll be happier at the when it comes tax time. Okay. Okay, effective bookkeeping, first and foremost, it will improve your financial health. It will save you time. I'm not going to spend much more time on this slide. It's available for you in the slide deck, but this bookkeeping is something you want to do. And really, I would love to see you want to do it. Because people have asked, QuickBooks Online does offer a way to track your mileage. You get yourself set up. There is a link here. When you get the slide deck, these links are active and you can just grab them and go and learn a little bit more about what is right for you and your business. We're not going to cover these topics. This is a much more advanced QuickBooks training, backing up and restoring, which you don't do online. They do it for you. However, reconciling vendors and 1099s, point of sales and other add-on apps, sales taxes and payroll. We're not going to cover it today in today's training. This is a sample of what's called a test drive that we're going to be using today. We're going to start the online presentation. I do have to shift over here myself and get into it. I was set up previously. However, they usually kick me out if I'm not active. So let me copy that real quick, copy the hyperlink, and I'm ready to head over that way. And then this is what we're going to be covering. There's the test drive if you want to grab it. It is in the link. And I'm going to send it to you again real quick, just in case you want to follow along. I usually maintain that it's better that you just kind of listen and pay attention. Okay, but there's the link if you want it. And give me a second. I'm going to get back and get onto. Okay, it looks like they have left me in. Okay, so I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to reshare a different screen. All right, so give me a moment and share and would someone in the audience confirm that you can see a window that's an Intuit QuickBooks window? Let me get the chat back up so I can see it. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're ready. Now you can ask your questions as we go, but I will be looking at my screen as we navigate this, and I will come back and give you some time to do some Q&A. So we got about 40 minutes or so to really get in here. So here we go. So the first thing that we're going to do is navigate QuickBooks. You should be able to see my mouse moving around. It's bright pink. Okay, so this is what's called the home page. The little button right here, if you ever get lost, it's right here. This is your home page right here. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to get my little drawing tool up. Okay, there's my drawing tool. Okay, this close out and give me my drawing tool. No, it does not. It has to be up. It gets in my, okay, gets in my way. Let me move it over here and try again. Okay, there's that. There we go. All right, there's your home button. Okay, it's right there. All right, the next one that you're going to want to pay attention to, this is your gear button. Lots and lots of things here that you're going to be using this for. This is your create button. And again, this page that you're seeing here, you've got home, it brings you to create, it brings you to the gear icon. So these are your first main things that you're going to be looking for. Now, over here on this left-hand side, you have a shortcuts window. All right. Let me erase some of these real quick. Okay. Now, oh, I'm going to change the color just because I like a different color. Pink. There we go. All right. So when I go here, okay, and I click on this, well, let me click on that. It will not. Okay. So I have to close that. Okay. So here again, create. All right. These are all the things that you can create with this button. All right. So you see that they've got some rows here. Oops. Okay. So because this is active, I can't use my mouse very well. Okay. So under customers, you can create invoices. You can receive a payment, make statements, estimates, create credit memos, sales receipt. Now, the difference between an invoice and a sales receipt is that an invoice is created to bill somebody. You will send the invoice to them, all right, and then they will pay you. So when you do an invoice, it goes over to accounts receivable and it sits there and it waits for you until you show that it's been paid. What's really critical, and this is something that QuickBooks is absolutely hard about, is I don't mean that they consider it a rule that they don't like broken, is that when you receive a payment, okay, I have to stay there. When you invoice someone, you have to use the receive payment feature. You have to. Otherwise, it does not remove it out of accounts receivable. So you have to go in and post that you received the payment. What I like to do is I create the invoice. When I get the payment, I know that it's coming in. I receive the payment. And then when my bank feeds come in, it will match automatically. However, they have upgraded QuickBooks so that when the payment comes in and they recognize that it belongs to an invoice, they will say, do you want me to match this? And you say, yes, this is a match. So you will develop your own habits and skills for you to handle invoices. If you do a sales receipt, which means that you've made that sale right then and there, but you want to record what it's for, okay, that will automatically post the payment for you. And the payment, when it comes in from the bank, will sync up for you. So this is why posting your transactions on a weekly basis is very, very useful. So then under vendors, you can do expense, you can write checks, you can post bills. So bill and bill pay, those two things are the same way as invoices. If you use your accounts payable, and I encourage you to do so, when you post the bill, you have to mark that you want to pay the bill, and then it will go to the bill pay feature. Okay, so those two are very much like, this is the way you do it, and you will do it this way every single time. Again, QuickBooks has gotten better about saying, oh, we see that the bank feed came in. We think that it belongs to this bill. Please confirm, basically say that this is a match, and we'll post it as paid. So you will find your own way. And again, these might be things that you don't know how to do in the beginning, and you'll do it a few times, and then you'll check it and you'll see, oh, this is the way this is working for me. Would like to tell you that this sidebar here can be different depending on which plan you have signed up and are paying for. There can be some changes, but this create bill will be here, and the gear icon will be here. So those you can rely on. They will be there. Let me see if I can find my, okay. Looking for my little eraser. I was going to erase those things. Okay, so now we're on this page here. So the main way that you'll be navigating is you'll be looking at the gear icon. What's here? Is there something here that I need? So my chart of accounts, very important. My chart of accounts is right here. Okay, I can manage users. That's who can use my account. The account settings, lists for your invoices, you will create items that you will bill and use on your invoices. You can use them on your sales receipt as well. These are things that you will set up. These are, again, more advanced rules. Love, love, love rules. So rules say, well, if you see this payment from this particular vendor or this particular customer, this is how I want you to treat it. And you can set that up. You can override the rule. You can do that on your own. You can delete the rule if it's not working for you. But this feature, if you're doing a lot of business with one particular vendor and it's always for one particular purchase, whether it's like PG&E is always a utility, and you set up the rule every single time that transaction comes in from the bank, QuickBooks will say, I know what to do with this. And then you can look at that, and that's where speed really starts happening for you. do 1 or 2 rules a day. You don't have to do them all at the same time. If you don't have time to do it, just post it. It will try to help you, and it does a good job at it ordinarily. However, always reconcile your bank accounts and your credit card accounts, because you want to be sure that everything is getting posted correctly, no double transactions, no errors or stuff. So reconciling will really help you with that. There's a few things under the tools. Most of it you won't be using. The reconcile you will be. The audit log is what it really is, who's logged in and what they've done. Some help, and this is, the profile and some updates there. So there's a few things here, particularly chart of accounts. Now, some of them allow you to go to your chart of accounts straight from here. You can also find it under accounting. So under accounting, you have bank transactions. That's something you will be dealing with every day. You will have maybe receipts if you want, reconcile, rules, here that are again, chart of accounts. This is something you'll be going to regularly. Let me click on that and show you. So now I'm looking at the chart of accounts. So if I want to add a new account, it's here. I cannot create a new account from another screen. I have to create it from this screen. Sometimes there are saves down below. You can run a report from here. You can run a report from the drop down. You can edit the account, means you can change the name and how it's treated. You can make it inactive if you've decided that it's no longer useful for you, or you can run a report. I love this feature. I use it all the time. I can drop it into Excel and I can look at it in a different kind of a way. You can see that these accounts here, like the checking account, doesn't have anything particular on it to identify it. But let's say I want to edit it. Let's say I want to say that it's checking, and I'm going to say it's Wells Fargo. I'm going to say operating. And then I'm going to put the last 4 of the numbers on the account, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then I'm going to save it. And now every time I go to use it, it will show me which account I'm actually posting to. Very, very useful, particularly if you have multiple accounts, multiple credit cards, which many of you will, and I encourage you to do it. This is where your accounts receivable sits. It shows you your balance. This is one that you wouldn't change, okay? So you know that, but you can have sub-accounts for inventory and those kinds of things, okay? Again, uncategorized or miscellaneous stuff, I don't really agree with it. I think that what happens is you will forget what's in there. I think that having something more specific is really, really useful for you. So for example, truck. Okay. And here again, I might want to edit this truck. Maybe I'm getting ready to buy a new truck, and maybe I want it to be a GMC 2006. Okay. So I really like being able to be specific because I may have multiple things. Okay. All right. So again, over here, we have these different kinds of ways to get to things. So there's lots of ways to navigate. One of the things that I would like to show you is this little blue here. Let's see if I can find my marker again. Here's my marker. This here, you can back up from here. Now, the thing that's really different about QuickBooks Online is that only one window is open at a time. Okay, now you can back up, okay, and you can go forward. However, if you want to go someplace else, let's say I want to go to expenses and bills. And I go to vendors. I am no longer in chart of accounts. It's not hidden somewhere. Okay. Also would like to point out to you that there's a drag bar over here. Drag it up and down. This is easy to overlook that it's there. Again, if I want to create a new vendor, it's right here. I can do a new vendor. If I want to pay vendors, and you'll note that there are drop downs. Maybe I want to do other things, prepare 1099s, order checks. I can also do import vendors, multiple vendors. There's lots of things that you are more advanced that you won't do. you will use new vendors, you will use pay vendors. Remember that if you create a bill, you must use the pay vendor piece. You can write a check. Remember to do that. Create. I want to write a check. It's right here. Okay. And now I'm on another screen entirely. Let me erase. All right. Now the little X allows me to close it without making a change. If I've made a change, it will ask me, do you want to save this without making the change? Yes, I want to save it. So, and then your save has some drop downs here. Okay, save and new or save and close. So, but I can also close it right here. Okay, without saving it, without doing save and close. So if I just say, oh no, I didn't want to do that, I can just cancel it basically. Okay, so getting paid, I'm going to go over here. And in this case, I'm going to create an invoice. I'm just going to look at this real quick. Okay. Oh, so Maria, I just caught your question. It says, if you have two businesses, do you need two different QuickBooks? Yes. QuickBooks Online? Yes. You must have two subscriptions. Okay. They're always offering you something new. Always offering. I don't want to take the tour. I just want to go to invoice. This can be completely customized. Okay, once you have your company information in, it'll know how you want it done. But if you want to change it, you can change it. Okay, so you've got all sorts of little tools that you can use. Don't overwhelm. Just they're turn off, turn on kinds of things. Okay, payment options. Okay, you can set up, you will set up your payment options. You're going to spend a little time doing this. Add them one at a time. Okay, but if you already know what they are, sort of figure it out. And again, you can always go online and you can ask the Intuit community, basically, how do I do whatever it is in QBO? And a whole bunch of responses, and you'll start seeing reliable resources. CPAs will maybe answer the questions, but the Intuit community is really big and they offer lots of good support. You will learn how to get trained. There are YouTube videos. There's lots of things. I'm a resource. I'm not sure what PACE has as far as a resource for you. Just know there are lots and lots of resources for you. So you can send your invoices electronically. You can download them as a PDF and email them yourself. QuickBooks does, their email service has a fee usually associated with it. It may not even be available in some of the smaller, the more affordable plans. So you just want to look at, get the invoice done. Remember I talked about items here when I'm creating the invoice, then I already have these items set up. And the items will be, well, if I charge for this, what is it? Is it income? Is it just an add-on and there's no charge for it? What is this? So let's say this is a landscaping company. So this is a fountain pump, and you can see that they've already defaulted to how much it is. So it's $15 per pump, but I can still go in and I can say, no, that's not right. I can change that number. Okay, I can change the quantity, I can do whatever. So it will default to a few things, but it allows you to add them. And then if you don't like the line, you can just delete it. Okay. But all of this is customizable for you. And then when you're done, you would just hit save. Okay. So you get this all ready to go, and you can make it recurring, which means that it will remember it. It'll do it over and over to the same customer. I can review and send. See, there's my feature to send it. There's my drop downs. Okay, share the link. Means I can share it with somebody. I can also save and new or save and close. I have that option. So I can just save, or I can do save and new. I can do save and close. Okay, so in this particular example, I'm not going to save it. I'm just going to get rid of it. It says, oh, do you want to leave without saving? Yes, thank you. I want to leave without saving. Okay, so that's how you would create an invoice. Now, how about getting paid for an invoice? Well, so then I'm going to go over to create, and then I go down to receive payment. Okay. So I go to receive a payment. Somebody I know that sent me a check. And then I choose the customer. Let's say I'll do Bill's Windsurf Shop. Okay. And it will show me any outstanding invoices for this customer. Okay. So then I would say record the payment. So I'm going to say the payment date. I might give more information if I want. Payment method. It says charge a new payment. Okay. And it goes to undeposited funds if you want, or it can go straight to your bank account or to a credit card, however you've got it set up. So let's talk a little bit about what undeposited funds are. QuickBooks was created when people only paid by check, pretty much. Okay. Some paid by credit card. Maybe you have one check that you took straight over to the bank and you deposited, but it knows that most people take multiple checks to the bank at one time. So it holds those money in undeposited funds until you're ready to go to the bank. So if I receive 3 $100 payments and then I take them all over to the bank, then when I post my deposit, okay, I'll be posting that it came for $300 and that was the deposit, even though it's 3 100s. And it will show each of the checks that I actually took to the bank because I have the power to do that. So this is where I would receive my payments, or or maybe I want to send it straight to the checking account. Maybe I can do that too. So you have lots of options. However, when it comes to reconciling the bank account, the better you do with how you're recording the way you're doing your deposits will make it easier for you to reconcile the bank. Okay, because the bank feeds will come in with the number of the exact deposit. So if it's just a deposit for, let's say, I'm just going to do this. If the deposit is $1,500 and I say that, oh, I took this straight to the bank or I use an electronic payment system, then I'm going to show that this is how it was paid. I can go down here and record it, record and close. I have a few other features, record and new, so I can do multiple payments. So then when my banking transactions come through, it'll say $1,500 and it will match it. Okay. If I send it to undeposited funds and I took several checks to the bank, all right, and then let's say I have 2 checks for $1,500 and it's $3,000. When the bank feed comes in, then it will go, oh, I found the deposit for $3,000. So again, the better job you do with learning how to do this, the faster reconciling will be. So I'm not going to save these changes. So then, I want to make a deposit. I'm going to show you how that works. Okay. So let's do bank transactions here. Okay. And remember, this is a test drive. So this is how a feed would look like. This is your bank feed. Okay. And when you click on each one of these, then it shows you the activity within that particular feed. Okay. So there's this. Okay. This is the Amazon. And you can see that it's trying to say uncategorized expense, but we don't do that. You can see that this one here said, oh, 2 matches are found, and you can click on it and you can say which one it matches to. 1 match is found. Okay, let's go to this back to the checking account. Now you'll see that this is showing, it says checking, says that there's a negative $3,600 in the bank balance. Wait a minute, that's probably not right. Need to find out what that is about. However, you can see that, again, what the test drive is showing that this is how it's thinking of it. It doesn't know what to do with it. You get to tell it what you want to do. And when you add it, a lot of these will create rules for you. For example, the A rental may always be a cost of goods. And maybe that's what it is. And so you would always say that. And so this is why keeping up on top of this is really important. You can see that it's trying to match. And this one wants you to view it. Okay. So on any given day, you can, it says that you have 25 to review. Again, post what you know. If these are good or matches, then just accept them. So you say that one match is found, one match is found. You can rely on these. You would just click on these. And then you would accept them. Okay. If you need to edit, you can edit them. You can exclude them. So this categorized will say these are the things that you did today, and then it refreshes the next day. Excluded said, no, this is a duplicate, or I have handled this differently, and I don't want you to post this one. So you can exclude these things, or you can match them. You can add them. You can do bulk stuff. There's all sorts of things that you can do. And then I can click on this to accept them all or remove them all. Okay. So this is your bank transactions, bank feeds. All right. You can link accounts here. You can update manually. You say, I want some more information on this. There's lots and lots of things that you can do here. If I want to, where are banking transactions? I'm just kind of looking at my notes. This is what I want to cover. So I've got getting paid, invoices, receiving payments, and deposits. So it has to be here. Oh, there it is. Other, missed it. Okay, there it is. Other, bank deposit. Okay. So you can see there's a lot of information here. In Tuesday's presentation, I talked a little about it's like walking into a store you've never been in before. You have to go, what am I looking for? Do I need to do a transfer? Do I need to do a bank deposit? Do I need to do a general journal entry? One other thing that you should know, okay, I found several clients that didn't connect this. While QuickBooks has gotten very sophisticated and you can make some payments from QuickBooks, generally speaking, when you make a payment, okay, let's say I go to sales tax and I make a payment for my sales taxes, I'm logging into their website and I'm processing the payment to my bank account. I have to tell QuickBooks that I made the payment. Now, when the payment hits the bank, it will feed through, so I will know about it. However, you can't go into QuickBooks and say, oh, pay sales tax and record the payment. It doesn't feed and tell the sales tax that it's being paid. You have to log into their account, or you are paying it directly from your bank account. Banks talk to banks, websites talk to banks, that kind of thing. QuickBooks does not make it easy to transfer money out of your bank account, and you want it that way. You don't want to have your QuickBooks making the payments. You will be doing that and keeping that under your sole control. Okay, so then we can make the deposits, and if you have something in undeposited funds, it will pop up when you say make my deposit. And I believe that this may even have a sample of that. I'm going to go bank deposit. Okay, so it does not look like it has, oh, yeah, it does. So these are the deposits. These are undeposited. So you're saying that I'm going to deposit these together and then they're total, or I can deposit them one at a time, depending on how you sent the check and the information to the bank. Okay, so if I deposited them together, fine. If they came in individually, then I would do one, save new, and then get the other one, save new. Okay. All right. Paying bills and writing checks. So we talked a little bit about that. Not everybody uses their accounts payable. I encourage you, as your business grows, to do that. It allows you to see what you owe to people. So what you would do is you would go and you would create a bill. You choose the vendor. You'll set them up in the vendor. If you start to type in their name and you don't already have the vendor, okay, it will ask you if you would like to create it, and it'll help you do it really, really fast. Okay, so what is the bill date? I usually put the date that's actually on their bill and then what their due date is. Okay, and then you can post it to the proper expense account, whether it was for fuel. Do you need a description? No. Leaving yourself some memos, that's usually very helpful. Then the amount. Most people don't have a lot of need for the billable and tax, but you can. If you're a construction and you're going to bill, then that's the way it'll actually ask you to apply it to which customer that you want to bill it to. Okay. So then once you create the bill, then it will save it for you, and you can yes, I'm going to leave without saving. So if I want to look at reports, for example, I can go to my standard reports and I can go and look at my accounts payable. Who do I owe? How am I doing? I can also go to pay bills. So if I need to pay bills, it's keeping track of who I owe. And it allows you to make a payment. Now, if a vendor has sent you a credit, you can post the credit and then it'll say, oh, we're holding a credit. And then it'll subtract that credit from what you owe and it'll adjust the payment. Again, this does not initiate the payment. You have to initiate the payment on your own, whether you go to your bank account and pay PG&E, whether you write PG&E a check, okay, or whether you go and use your credit card. This only records the transaction. It doesn't do the work for you. It only records the transaction. Okay. It says schedule a payment. Okay. What does it want me to do here? Well, it's just really asking me to record the transaction. Now, what if I just want to write a check? Let's say I just got a bill in and I'm not going to record the bill. I'm just going to pay it. So then I go over here under vendors and I do write a check. And so then you can order checks through various services. The bank charges a premium if you order the QuickBooks style checks from them. You can find them through various other services that offer paper products if you're going to do paper checks, okay? Or you can sign up with your bank and they would initiate the check, in which in this case, you would only be recording the transaction. You would not be actually printing the check, okay? And so you would say, who is it for? Which bank account? How did you pay for it? That kind of a thing. And then you would put the category in. Let's say, again, it's just fuel, and maybe it's for a particular truck or vehicle or something. Again, description is just for you to give you some information that's useful. It might be for an invoice. You might go invoice 1234 January 2026. And then the amount might be $350. Okay, so that allows you to do those things. So in any event, like I said, there's a lot of information here. A lot of these tools are available to you, okay, and you're going to learn how to navigate them. Almost everything you need is going to be in just a few places that you will just be spending a little more time going, what do I need? What am I looking for? So is this under create? Not the wrong one. Okay. Is it here under create? Is it here under accounting? Is it here under expenses? Is it here under sales? Okay. Okay. Is it here under my gear icon? You'll just use your eyes, and what you'll do is, I'm going to erase these real quick. You will just click on these things and you will look for the drop downs. What am I looking for? Okay. Sales. Again, this might give you invoices, recurring things. QuickBooks is great about making available to you this information in lots and lots of different places. And you can play with this by going to the test drive and doing it that way and sort of browsing around. for your own edification is we know that QuickBooks can do all the heavy lifting for a business, no matter your size. Okay, small to huge. The question is if you want to do something other than QuickBooks, will that meet your needs? What do you absolutely have to have? You need to have bank feeds. You need to have reports. You need to have the ability to post bills. You need the ability to create invoices. All of these things you have to weigh for the needs of your company today and the needs of your company tomorrow. And I would really hope that you're all looking to grow your businesses, and you're going to need a strong software that will help you do that and make it easy, that it's reliable on. So this is a big bird's eye view of what QuickBooks Online has to offer, and ways to get you started to do everyday transactions. Okay, and just remember there's a few rules that QuickBooks lives by, and that is if you prepare an invoice, you must receive the payment through the receive payment feature. If you post it as a bill, then you must do the pay bills feature. And QuickBooks has gotten more sophisticated to give you some support. However, you need that information to be accurate, so when your reports are run, they are accurate. And that pretty much covers the presentation, and I'll open it up for some questions. And I do see that there are a few conversations over here, so I'm going to pull them over. So love this. Maria asked, what about getting paid with Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal? Excellent, great question. So I'm going to run over here to Chart of Accounts, and I'm going to go over here to Chart of Accounts. And under my banks, I am going to create a new bank account. I'll just do it for you real quick. So I'm going to create a new account. What is the account name? I'm going to say it's PayPal. Okay, it's PayPal. And then what type of account? I'm going to tell you it's a bank account. And then there it is. Now I have created, now I've created a way to receive PayPal. Zelle is a slightly different because Zelle comes out of your existing bank account. So if you're doing Wells Fargo or Chase or somebody else, that comes straight out. So with Zelle, what you want to be sure that you're doing is, what I like to do is I like to create a check. And I'm not going to spend any time here. If it comes out of here, but under the check number, I do Zelle. And I say that it was on Zelle. That's how I paid it. And then I put all the other relevant information in. So that's a great question. You will create clearing accounts for these, because when you receive the PayPal, it'll sit in the PayPal account until you move it into your bank account. And so that's just a transfer between PayPal and there. And so you might call it PayPal clearing account, but it's just a PayPal or a Cash App or Venmo or those sort of things, because you're moving funds over to those accounts from your bank account or a credit card or something. So you need to be able to record those transactions. This is a great question, Maria. Thank you. Karen asked, is QuickBooks available for download? So QuickBooks Desktop is still available for a download. Yes, it is. It's got a premium price if you want to, and you can use it for multiple companies. And I do love it. It's a subscription, so you will pay for it annually. And the subscription price has gone up every year by $300 every year for the last 3 years. I just want you to know that. Okay. Oh, Jackie, I think that's how I pronounce your name. What is the difference between bill and pay bills? The difference is that the bill means to post the bill, okay? And pay the bills means you're going to get it paid. So here, if I do create, so bill means I need to create a bill. If you were here on Tuesday, you'll know that sometimes we use words interchangeably. They don't mean the same thing. Sometimes they do mean the same thing. In this case, bill means I've received a bill. I need to post the bill. It'll sit in accounts payable until I pay it. And then pay bills is that feature that I go, I'm going to pay those bills. So it pulls all the bills that I've showed I owe, pulls them all together, and you can identify which ones you want to pay and how you're going to pay them. But remember, QuickBooks doesn't do that pay action for you. It will print the check for you. But if you pay it with a credit card or with an ACH out of your bank account, you have to tell it that that's what you did, or Zelle. So great question, Jackie. Let's see what else we have. So the slide deck is going to be made available to all attendees today. How do I record received from Zelle? Good question. So if you've received a payment from Zelle for an invoice, you would go to the receive payment and you record it as a payment of your invoice. And it could be a sales receipt. Some people just record it as a straight deposit, and it would be a deposit to your bank account. Let's say that you pay your Zelle out of your bank account, you receive your money in from your bank account. To record a payment from Zelle depends on whether you sent out an invoice, whether you created a sales receipt. So let's look at a sales receipt real quick, just as an example. Okay, I want it says record a payment. So when did I receive it? So I might, in this particular case, it's going to go straight to my bank account. I might actually create a Zelle category under payment method, but I certainly could put right here Zelle. I would absolutely tell myself that it was paid by Zelle, so that if I have trouble finding what happened to it, I have a method. But here you can create new, you can see where it says add new. I can say I want to add a new payment method. I go Zelle. It asks if it's a credit card, and I say no, it's not. And now I can add Zelle. Okay, great question. Okay, so let's see if I've got a little time for more. If you have a credit card you use for bills, yes, is there an easy or automatic way to have those uploaded into QuickBooks? Yes, 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 yes. You must. No, you do not. Absolutely. This one of the features I absolutely love. And the way that you would do that is that you would make sure that on your bank transaction dashboard, and you would do it also through your chart of accounts, you would add the credit card to your QuickBooks, and you would set it up to link, i.e. sync back and forth. And so every time you pay for anything on the credit card, see this MasterCard is a classic example. Okay, so these were the purchases made on the credit card. Okay, so these are the monies that were spent, what they were spent for. A lot of the electronic stuff will come through. It'll tell you the description. So in this case, the description doesn't have a payee. So I can say what the payee is. So let's see if they have an Amazon set up. Don't see an Amazon. So I could go Amazon, add new Amazon. I'm going to make it super simple. I'm just going to say save just like it is. I can add more details. Amazon. Now that's the payee. The next time that a payment comes through or an expense comes through to Amazon, it will say that. But here's where I want you to really get good at. Don't use uncategorized expense. You're going to click on this again, and now you can edit it. See how you can edit it? You can add a split, which means you can add more information here. The real beauty of it is it feeds directly into your bank accounts, and this is where it gets really, really fast. Okay, and why, again, you must do this pretty much once a week because you won't remember what this stuff is for. Okay, I guarantee it. If you've got a busy, active business, you will not remember what these things were for. Okay, so okay, go back to. I'm going to go back to my home page. Okay, I have a CRM and they use LawPay. So what would QuickBooks do extra? I don't know anything about it, Berta. I don't know what LawPay is. I know that there's some other windows out there. So it's a perfect question to find out what LawPay actually does. However, I don't know if it's actually an accounting bookkeeping software or not. It may need to be an add-on. It may need to be treated as something you add to your chart of accounts. I would absolutely start asking those. That's a good question. So start asking those questions until you understand what it will do and what it won't do and what you need it to do for your business. So thank you. Not everything integrates well with QuickBooks. There are ways to get around it. Those are more advanced conversations. So we are at time. If there are any other quick question, I would be happy to answer. Say, but from the system I use, I can send a bill and invoice to QuickBooks through linking. Yeah, there's a lot of them will do that. A lot of them will do that. So find out, you just have to ask the internet and say, will LawPay integrate with QuickBooks? You want to be sure that it does a good job. Not all of them do a good job because it's set up on their side. So you want to really know where it belongs and remember the 6 categories of assets, liabilities, equity, those kinds of things. How do you need it to integrate? What do you need it to do for you? Ask those questions and then find out what it can do and how to make it integrate. And you may need some help from the tech people at QuickBooks. I don't know anything about it. Oh, good question, Anita. It says, what happens if a client pays but pays partially? Does the original invoice update with the new amount owed or stay open in their outstanding transactions until completely paid? So it updates and it stays outstanding until it is fully paid. It'll show up with a balance due on it, but it does allow you to post that. So, and it does with the bills as well. If you pay only part of a bill, then it'll keep what you still owe. When you go to bill pay, it will show the new balance due and allow you to pay it, particularly if they've got a credit or something and they give you a partial credit. So yeah, it's completely user-friendly with that regard. And it's clear that you already are starting to see the flow of how that works. So yeah, if they pay partially, it stays open. And one of the things that it does, is I'm going to grab a customer. If they only see, you can see this one right here is exactly that answers that question. So the original amount was $459, but the open balance is $239. Okay, and you can do an accounts receivable report, and what will it show? Will show that the open balance is the $239, and you have the power to choose which invoice you're going to. If they've got a bunch of invoices outstanding, you just go, which one are they paying, or which one are they paying part of? So great question. Okay. Yene says, our office uses QuickBooks, but not the online version. Should we upgrade everyone or just accounting? Everyone will use whatever accounting is using. Okay. If your QuickBooks desktop is serving you and you are enjoying it and it's getting the job done, stay with QuickBooks desktop. Okay. There's no particular reason to go to the online. QuickBooks wants everybody to go to online, but they are still not getting rid of the desktop version. Does the price that you need to pay for desktop outweigh the need to go to the online? It's just a question. It's just a conversation. Desktop is powerful. It's robust. It's fantastic. The thing is that most people no longer need the desktop version. Most business owners will be fine with the online version. But for a lot of bookkeepers, they use desktop because they can have multiple clients and use one subscription. Whereas if they're online, every one of their clients must have their own online subscription. Okay. And I think that does it pretty much for us for time. It's been a real pleasure. I hope that you got some good information and got kind of a starting place for how you're going to proceed with this. So anyway, my pleasure to do this for you. We will have more presentations coming up over the next few months. So I think that pretty much finishes up.
Thank you so much, Lona. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you next time.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.